Imagine for a moment. What if the biggest threat to your happiness, your relationships, and your entire life isn't out there somewhere, but lurking deep within you? Carl Jung warned us about this inner enemy, a dark side capable of utterly destroying everything you hold dear. We all have parts of ourselves we don't quite like, traits we'd rather ignore or pretend don't exist. But what happens when those unacknowledged pieces grow into something powerful, something that subtly sabotages our lives from the inside out? Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on one of Carl Jung's most profound and chilling concepts, the shadow. We'll explore why understanding it isn't just good philosophy, it's essential for a life well lived. If you've ever felt like you're your own worst enemy, caught in a cycle of self-sabotage, or wondered why you sometimes act completely out of character, this video holds the key to finally breaking free. By the end, you'll not only recognize this hidden force within you, but you'll learn how to transform it from a destructive presence into a source of genuine strength. Think of your mind like a sprawling old house. Most of us keep the main rooms tidy, brightly lit, and ready for guests. That's our conscious personality, the me we present to the world. But what about the dusty attic, the forgotten basement, or that one locked room you never go into? That's where your shadow lives. Carl Jung, the Swiss psychiatrist, called this the shadow, the unconscious, repressed aspects of ourselves. It's not just the bad stuff, though it certainly contains anger, jealousy, selfishness, and all the traits society and our own upbringing taught us to hide. It also holds unexpressed creativity, passions, and wildness that we've deemed inappropriate or unacceptable. Basically, any part of you that you've ever said, "Nope, not me. I don't do that," or "That's ugly, I'll bury it," gets relegated to the shadow. It's the part of us we'd rather not admit exists, the raw, instinctual self that doesn't always fit into polite society or our idealized self-image. It's not inherently evil, but it's certainly untamed. So why do we shove these parts into the psychological basement? Well, from a young age, we learn what's good and bad, what's acceptable and what earns us approval. If expressing anger meant getting punished, we learned to suppress it. If showing vulnerability made us feel weak, we tucked it away. These lessons, often unconscious, shape the walls of our shadow. The problem is, what you repress doesn't just disappear. Imagine trying to hold a beach ball underwater. It takes constant effort, and the moment you relax, it springs back up with surprising force. That's what happens with the shadow. The more we deny it, the more energy it gains in the dark, becoming more complex, more autonomous, and frankly, more dangerous. This isn't just about personal feelings. Our culture plays a huge role, too. We often celebrate narrow ideals of success, beauty, and emotional control, subtly pushing our less perfect or less productive traits into the shadows. We're taught to curate a perfect public image, leaving little room for our messy, authentic selves. It's exhausting, and it gives the shadow a fertile ground to grow. Here's where Jung's warning truly hits home. When you refuse to acknowledge your shadow, it doesn't just sit there quietly. It finds ways to express itself, often in destructive, indirect ways that feel completely out of your control. This is when your inner demon starts to destroy your life. One classic manifestation is projection. You know those people who drive you absolutely nuts? The ones whose flaws seem so glaring, so irritating that you can't stand to be around them. Often, those intensely annoying traits are aspects of your own unacknowledged shadow. You despise their laziness because you secretly fear your own lack of drive. You can't stand their judgmental attitude because you're constantly judging yourself. We see our own darkness reflected in others, precisely because we refuse to see it in ourselves. Another way the shadow takes over is through impulsive, irrational behaviors. Ever said something incredibly hurtful in the heat of the moment that you immediately regretted? Or perhaps you binge on something you promised yourself you'd avoid, or sabotage a perfectly good relationship just when things were getting serious. That's the repressed shadow bursting forth, demanding attention, taking control because it hasn't been given a voice in a healthy way. It can manifest as addiction, cycles of self-sabotage, or even chronic anxiety and depression because so much energy is spent keeping it locked away. It's the uninvited house guest finally trashing the living room. So, if this dark side is so powerful and destructive, what do we do about it? Jung's answer isn't to kill the shadow. You can't. It's a part of you. His answer is integration. This means bringing the unconscious shadow into conscious awareness. It's about looking directly into that dusty attic and that locked basement room. This isn't a quick fix, and it's certainly not comfortable. It requires courage, honesty, and a willingness to confront aspects of yourself you'd rather forget. Imagine you're a detective investigating your own inner world. You're looking for clues. Where do you find them? Start with your intense reactions. What makes you disproportionately angry or disgusted in others? What topics do you vehemently avoid discussing about yourself? What are your deepest fears or insecurities? These are often signposts leading to your shadow. Journaling can be incredibly powerful here. Just write whatever comes to mind without judgment. Therapy can also provide a safe space to explore these difficult areas with guidance. Pay attention to your dreams, too. Jung believed dreams are messages from the unconscious, often using symbolic language to show us what's lurking in our shadows. Don't dismiss them. Even slips of the tongue or sudden strong urges can be glimpses into this hidden realm. The goal isn't to condemn these parts, but simply to see them, to acknowledge their existence without letting them define you entirely. Here's the surprising twist. The shadow isn't just a container for your flaws. It's also a reservoir of raw, untapped potential. Think about it. If you repressed your anger because it was deemed bad, you might also have repressed the assertiveness that comes with healthy anger, the ability to set boundaries, or the passion to fight for what you believe in. When you begin to integrate your shadow, you start to reclaim these vital energies. That suppressed rage, once a destructive outburst, can transform into a powerful force for change, a drive to overcome obstacles. The selfishness you buried might be the healthy self-preservation you need to avoid burnout. The jealousy you feared could be a signpost to what you truly desire and a motivator to pursue it. This process isn't about becoming perfect or eliminating your flaws. It's about becoming whole. It's about bringing all the disparate parts of yourself into harmony so they can work for you, rather than against you. Imagine that uninvited houseguest once trashing your home now sits at the table contributing to the conversation. It's still there, but now it's integrated, understood, and even valuable. This is the difference between being driven by your shadow and consciously integrating its power. Ignoring your shadow is like trying to sail a ship with a gaping hole below the waterline. You might stay afloat for a while, but eventually you'll sink. Jung's warning isn't just about avoiding self-destruction. It's about unlocking the fullest, most authentic version of yourself. When you do this deep, difficult work, you become a more genuine person. You stop projecting your issues onto others, leading to richer, more honest relationships. You gain self-acceptance because you've looked at your worst parts and understood them, rather than judging them. You develop moral integrity because your outward actions align with your inward truth. This journey of shadow integration is a fundamental part of what Jung called individuation, the process of becoming a unified, distinct whole. It's not about becoming someone else. It's about becoming more fully you in all your complex, messy, magnificent glory. It's the hero's journey we all must embark on to truly live a meaningful, integrated life, free from the subtle, destructive grip of our inner demons. So we've explored Carl Jung's chilling warning about the shadow, that hidden part of us containing everything we repress, both good and bad. We saw how denying this inner beast doesn't make it disappear. It just grows in the dark, leading to self-sabotage, destructive patterns, and projecting our own flaws onto others. But the good news is, by courageously acknowledging and integrating these parts, we don't just avoid self-destruction. We reclaim immense power, vitality, and authenticity, transforming our inner demon into a crucial aspect of our wholeness and well-being. Now I want to hear from you. What's one small, uncomfortable truth about yourself that you've been avoiding? Share it in the comments below, or simply reflect on it for yourself. Taking that first step towards acknowledging your shadow is incredibly brave. If this exploration of Jung's ideas resonated with you, hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into philosophy that can genuinely transform your life.